Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm back with another video, and we're going to talk about the whole graphics card situation. We're going to talk about Death Stranding 2 Collector's Edition being a bummer because when you buy the Collector's Edition, you don't even get a physical copy of the game. You get a digital key code, and a lot of people are not happy with that. We're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. The fact that the Japanese historians are basically saying that it is not accurate to what happened in that time, that it is just a facade of a story, and a lot of the community fan base are disliking the whole concept. The game is releasing in less than a week. But at the same time, it's caused a lot of uproar in terms of accuracy of the Japanese culture. So there's a lot going on in gaming. I'm trying to get myself a 9070 XT, and it is a difficult thing to achieve right now because everywhere you look, they either want 1,200, 1,000. I'm not going to be spending that much money on a GPU when the MSRP is $599. The highest I would go is $200 more, but not any higher, because at that point I might as well go with, a 5090, if I want to go into those numbers, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I already have the money to buy the GPU. That's not the problem. If I want to spend $2,000 on a GPU, I can spend $2,000. The point is I'm not going to be manipulated into spending tons of money into these products for the sake of their gain. That's exactly what these companies do. They want you to spend a ton of money, so then you are stuck with that whole process, you know what I mean? And for that being said, it's one of those things where literally you have to consider the whole concept of pricing. When they say the MSRP is the MSRP and then they raise the price, that's a problem, because from that moment on, you have the situation of just always having markups all the time in pricing, and so that's a problem. That's a huge problem. So now we have to consider trying to find this items at a lower price, and that's really important, a lower price. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going in 2 minutes. I'm getting ready to go to work. This is my Friday, so I really want to just finish my work and come back home, enjoy my Tuesday and Wednesday. So I came across one of my Jaguar cars that I have, and it's actually a convertible top. And so the dealership that got that car, I'm going to be taking a look at it. Very interested in it because I like these cars. Jaguars are like my favorite cars now. They just handle good, and with the Shell gas, it just runs really good. Like, I could feel the difference with the engine, everything. So I would much rather see what kind of deal I could get from this other Jaguar convertible. It's a 2012. I think it's 510 horsepower or 550. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going all the way. I gotta drive all the way to the shoreline to check out this one. It's only got 14,000 miles. So they only had one owner, kept it really clean in the garage. So might be either trading or buying. I'm not sure yet. So right now we're just kind of focused on what we're doing. Me and my wife have all kinds of plans for this year. Around 2, she already knows my rig setup is going to cost a little money. I told her my hobby's expensive, so she's cool with it, because the thing is that when you have a big responsibility, you have to adhere to the responsibility before you can buy the stuff that you want just for gaming and hobby and all that stuff. So that's my situation right now. But all I gotta say is that I'm really looking forward to being able to have that stuff at some time in the future. And I would like to get the best 9070 XT overclocked. Which one is the best? I don't know. Like, I hear so much about all of them, but I would like to have the one that has the best specs. So when I get it all put together, it's going to have the best specs. I want the best specs. So when it comes to the Death Stranding Collector's Edition, I'm probably not going to buy that, for the simple fact is it doesn't come with a physical copy game, because I decided that when I buy my games, they're going to be physical copies. So with that being said, I'm going to stick with more of that kind of mindset. If I'm buying a game, it has to be physical copy so I can own it, basically, you know what I mean? I tell you, man, this Shell gas really does great on this car. Compared to the other gas, I won't ever go back to a different gas. Like, this gas really, and I fill up my whole tank now. Dude, like, I'm getting ready to have my day off and I still have a little bit over a half a tank of gas. So Shell gas is like the ultimate gas for these cars. For Jaguars, in my opinion, it just outperforms from the other gas. Like, I've never felt such a pull on this car like never before. So yeah, man, this whole GPU craze there's so much going on. The Nintendo Switch 2 is right around the corner. I gotta get that pre-ordered for my nephew because he's a huge Nintendo fan. So I want to get that for him. I gotta help my sister out with some things. I gotta help my whole family out, you know, like, I gotta make decisions that benefit everybody else. I still am happy. Don't get me wrong, guys. I got tons of stuff. The problem with my work life is that apart from my work life, when I am away from work, it's sometimes can be a tough situation for me to get accommodated with just being at home for 2 days, you know, trying to just like leave work at work, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So with that being said, I will try to do my best to make some more content for everybody. I know it's mostly Call of Duty, Gran Turismo. I have to be more motivated to just play a game that truly I'm gonna be happy with. Okay, that's the problem I'm having right now as a gamer, and I just want to be able to have that work at some point or time. But in order to do that, I literally have to look at a game, say I'm gonna play it, not get bored of it, make sure I'm in the game so I don't, want to start all the way from the beginning. Have to take the experience of the farming aspect. I have to farm the game. That's the problem. When you farm the game, that's where all this stuff comes into play. So I really, really, really want to get back into this gaming. But let's get back into the GPUs. Now, the 9070 XT, there's so many different brands, but the one that I want is the one that's going to be the one that everybody covets, that everybody's like, oh shit, he got the cream of the crop, he got the king of the mountain. That's the one I want. And in order to get that one, I need the community's help to know for sure which one, and I need facts. I need someone, if they're going to send a link to show me which one to get, put it on the channel. I am not going to block any of your links. If you want to post some of your videos, go for it. I don't care. Like, I'm open-minded when it comes to that stuff. I don't care if people want to like advertise their stuff on my channel. I'm not going to be the party pooper and block your link or something like that. I don't do that unless it's something that's like really bad spam or something that shouldn't be there. Yeah, I will take action. But other than that, let's get back to the Death Stranding 2. I'm really excited about the game. Like, I really have myself trying to just feel something refreshingly new. I played the first game. I find myself playing that game and then just being like, you know what? How much walking simulation can you do in that game? So I hope the second one is going to have a little more of an adventure. It's probably going to be the same concept, but maybe better, much better. It has to be better, because after a while, man, it just gets laborious, just constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's what insanity is. So now what we need to do is we need to talk about the most important thing is right now, I would say Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft, this is their shot in the dark to be able to get back a lead on the leaderboard, because according to everybody that has been following this thing, that Ubisoft is going down. Now, I remember when I had my PS4 Pro and I played Far Cry 5 for the first time, even though it was 30 frames. That game was awesome, dude. Like, that was like the new game in my library that I couldn't stop playing. I remember the detail in that game, crawling up and down those hills, doing all that stuff. And to go back into that game, man, like, that was a game that truly made me feel like, wow, Ubisoft really makes a great game. And from that moment on, I was like, oh wow, yo, this is a really good game. And then once they started with switching around the characters, when it started going into the what was it, the Thief's End? Is that the name of the game? Far Cry Thief's End. At first it looked great in the beginning. It just played great. Everything was the same mechanics as Far Cry 4. And then all of a sudden, like, it just, all these games just started turning into, like, not really doing anything to make it better. It was the same jungle for pretty much 75% of the game. It was cool, but then after that, Far Cry 6 came out, and I really had high hopes for Far Cry 6. But what I noticed is that anticipation wasn't even there anymore, because the NPCs, everything just felt pretty much, you know, the same. So from that moment on, I was just like, nah, man, I can't play those games anymore, because I just feel like those games are truly like cut and paste, same thing, you know, nothing special out of it. So from that point on, I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna get into these games anymore, because I'm no longer, I just feel like spending all that time on one of those games. The games that I play, the reason why I play Call of Duty is because it has a fun aspect to it, but when the hackers are there, I need to just learn to shut it off, because they ruin the game and you already know where it's headed, okay? So, and then whenever a new season releases, there's always this feeling that there's just people on the game. Like, they put these lobbies where their servers are so much better than yours, and you can't even do anything. You can't even get a shot, nothing. Awful. Absolutely awful. Awful, in my opinion. Completely. So, with that being said, guys, I'm literally just trying to enjoy gaming. But one thing I found about horror games, okay? Let's talk about the Silent Hill F. Now, that to me seems really cool, in my opinion. I think that's a game that I would truly like, because it's scary as all hell. It just looks great. It looks like it's gonna play great. All this stuff, you know what I mean? And so I'm really into that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really into that. I'm into the whole concept of the whole Silent Hill F, because Silent Hill F, in my opinion, just looks like a freak of nature game. Scary as all hell. You know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be one of those games where it's just going to be that good. And so I am so excited about Silent Hill F. I think that's going to be a horrific game. If you played Silent Hill Message, that game was, it had its freak moments. It was good, but it wasn't that long. And so now it's one of those things that is a, how do I say it? It's going to be a fresh start with Silent Hill. And it being in Japan, these guys, they know exactly how to freak you the hell out. I mean, if the ratings already in that game are going to be explicit horror, you already know this game is going to make you think twice about, you know, playing the game at certain times of the day. You know what I mean? Like that's how you know a horror game is good, when it messes with your psychological, your mental capacity. That's how you know a horror game is good. So that, in my opinion, I think is going to be really good. There's a couple other games there's this one game that they already advertised several times, and it reminds me of like a Grand Theft Auto with a Division type look and feel to it, and it looks great on Sony, and I can't wait to just see the final touches of the game, because I think it's going to be, I think this year is going to be a game with a year that they're going to have some pretty decent games. Now, someone could, doubt that, disagree, but there's a lot of games so far that people are playing. I haven't even played Monster Hunter Wilds. See, I'm the type of guy where I'm not going to spend a ton of money on games that I'm not going to really want to get into, because I'm going to feel like after a while I get bored really easy of these games. That's the problem. So if I play these games and I start to get bored of them, I really get bored of these games. Like, I really start to just feel like it's just the same environment, the same layout, the same engines, just doing the same thing over and over again. There's really, even fighting games, the 2D fighting games just feel like they're kind of just like getting like old, and when I saw the Street Fighter 6, was it Street Fighter 6? That looked awesome, man. That looked pretty next gen to me, like the kicks and punches and stuff. We got to get games that start making games that are literally making the game look like it's real, like real. Like I maybe I got to get back into a little Mortal Kombat 1, if you guys want to see that, because I've been missing out on a lot of. I buy all this stuff and I barely play it. That's the problem. That is a huge problem, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, I think it's just a waste of time of spending money on these games and just not really getting the full experience of what I invested in. And yeah, man, I gotta admit, this Shell gas in this car. Just listen to the engine, guys. Hold on. Ready? Listen. Dude, that is an engine with this gas that just sounds like it's at its optimized peak performance. Now, with every other gas that I bought, it didn't have that pull. I swear to you guys, I always felt like something was off. But with the Shell V-Power, it works really good. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. All right, guys. So listen, like we had this discussion. I always enjoy these discussions because I talk about all the things that we relate to in gaming. I want this year to be great for gaming for everybody. I want everybody to be able to get everything that they are working hard for. I myself want to be able to get the things that I would want. But in order to do that, I have to pay off some credit cards. I have to downsize. There's a lot of things that you have to do. Sometimes you have to like lessen the everything that you intake, and you have to increase spending more money on things that you have to pay off and all that sorts. That's just part of everyday life, is just spending money on the most important things. And so that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. My name is Stealth Dragon. Thank you so much. I will see you guys on the next video, and yeah, have a good day. Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be nice days. I look forward to streaming later on. See you guys.